everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here today. Today's video, as you guys have seen in the title, it's gonna be my favorite powder, bronzers, and highlighters. There are construction trucks outside making the beeping noises and they won't stop. I was trying to wait for I really wanted to do this video because, as I've been mentioning in some of my recent videos, I have been wearing powder bronzers and powder cheek products overall more often, especially bronzers, just because I am wearing a mask every time I go outside or go into public places. So that requires me wearing powder bronzer because cream bronzers, even though they are my favorite in every way, they just don't last under masks very well. They will get stripes from the mask's lines, and it is tragic, but true. It is the world that we're living in right now. So I figured this video would be a very timely video to put up as the first video of my favorite series that I'm gonna be doing here on my channel. So this series is gonna go through each category of makeup, and I'm gonna talk about my favorites. I'm gonna try to keep the number of products down per video, but we'll see. Normally at the end of the year, I know a lot of YouTubers do favorites of the year, beauty favorites of the year of 2020 this year. And this is my first year on YouTube. So I wanted to lay a foundation for you guys of what my favorites are in each category so you guys know, so that from there I can kind of build upon that and tell you guys, you know, what my new favorites are in the coming months and years and things like that. So I wanted to start out with the basics and go through each category and tell you guys about what my favorites are and why. And then we'll be adding on to that as we go here on this channel, reviewing products and trying new things. So we are going to start out with powder bronzers, powder highlighters. And I was thinking about adding powder blushes to this, but honestly, I just don't have a ton of favorite powder blushes. And 99.999% of the time, I am going to choose a cream or liquid blush over a powder blush. It's just who I am. There are a couple of formulas that are, you know, different to that, but I thought I might just include those with my other blushes when I do my blush video. So that's kind of why we're doing these two categories today. Make sure that you're subscribed to my channel. If you have not yet, go ahead and click that subscribe button and click that notification bell that is next to the subscribe button so that you can be notified when we upload videos. Make sure that you're also following me on social medias. My social media tag will be popping up right here below me so that you can follow me there. I also notify you when we upload videos there, and you can kind of see some more pictures of the looks that I do here on my channel. And let's just go ahead and get started, okay? Let's do it. So I think I'm gonna start with powder highlighters because I have less of those, significantly less of those than bronzers, because I'd say, you know, blush is like 99.999% of the time I'm gonna choose a cream blush. Highlighter is more like 87.97% of the time. I'm gonna choose a cream highlighter, cream or liquid highlighter over a powder highlighter. But you know, it's just more chance that I'll choose possibly a powder highlighter on a regular basis. To preface highlighters, I want it to be skin-like. I want it to be really glowy. I don't want to see the like individual particles of glitter on my face. Like I don't wanna see any glitteriness on my face. I just want it to be glow. And that's what we're getting here today. And I am wearing powder highlighter. So the first highlighter I'm gonna mention here today, it's just the Nars highlighter. This is the shade Forte de France. It is a really beautiful yellowy champagne highlighter. As you can see, I've put quite a dent in this thing. It is so pretty. It's very soft. Look, just even swatched on my finger, you can't even see any individual glitter particles. Wow, this is gonna be a difficult video for me to show you swatches because they're so like light and I'm light and, you know, it doesn't show up very well. But maybe you can see the reflect there compared to my regular hand right there. You can just see it's just that soft glow. It's nothing too intense. You can build this up, but it does apply very softly. I mean, I'll reach for this over some cream highlighters because of the formula and because of the finish that it gives me. So the next one that is my longest love of highlighter is the Becca Opal highlighter. Now this highlighter, she's seen some battle. I have shattered this highlighter a couple times. I have put it back together with some rubbing alcohol and pressed it back into the pan. And I am running dangerously low on it. I am hitting pan in a small amount of areas. This is also a very nice champagne goldy highlighter. This is a little bit deeper of a highlighter than the Nars. It's also more of like a deeper goldy nude color, and it is definitely more intense than the Nars. So it is right here on my hand, if you can see that. You can kind of see the reflect, but it is actually the highlighter that I'm wearing today on my face. It is the highlighter that I'm wearing on my face. As you can see, it just gives me that really beautiful natural glow. I love this shade in particular because it is very similar. I find that it just blends into my skin tone and just gives me like a nice glow that looks like my skin. I don't know, it's really beautiful. This is definitely the most intense powder highlighter that I have. It can be intense, and I think everybody knows that because Becca highlighters are insane. But not a lot of people know that they can be very soft and very diffused and beautiful. I apply my highlighters with a larger fluffy brush, and I just tap off a lot of the excess, and I really blend and I swirl it in. It's not just like a and we're done. I really swirl it in and work it in to my cheekbones and the sides of my temples and my nose and things like that. I really work it in. And then the thing that I think really takes it there is just going over your face after you've finished with a spray of any kind. It doesn't even have to be a setting spray. It can just be a facial spray, whatever, that just melts those powders into your face. Ugh, changes everything. And that's what I've done today. I'm wearing powder bronzer and powder highlighter today, and they just look like my skin. They just look like the texture of my skin. You don't see any of the powdery texture. They look quite glowy actually. So that's the Becca highlighter. The next highlighter I'm gonna be talking about, it's a bougie one. It is the Dior Skin Nude Luminizer. And this is the shade 1 Nude. And as you can see, it has the word nude written in it, pressed into the pan. This is also a very, very beautiful highlighter. Very, very soft. It's definitely not like a really intense metallic highlight. It's like these other two that I've mentioned. It's very soft, very diffused. And I wouldn't even call it a champagne. I'd call it a nude color. And it's this one furthest this way. So we have the Dior, the Becca, and then the Nars over here. And I know that these just look the same, but they're different, I promise. They're so different in different ways, and I don't know how to explain it. So this is also a nude one, the way that I described the Becca one here, but it is a little bit lighter than the Becca. This goes with every look for me. Yeah, you can totally see it there. I really, really love this one. Just for every day, it matches every look that I could ever do. It really blends into my skin tone. That's what I love about these Dior highlighters is they have skin tone shades, and they're beautiful, okay? So that's that one. The next highlighter I'm gonna talk about actually kind of transitions us into the powder bronzer realm because it is a highlighter duo with a sculpting bronzing shade in it. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury Filmstar Bronze and Glow, and it has a sculpting shade and a highlight shade in here, as you can see. So let's talk about the highlight shade first. This is probably the most natural powder highlight that I have. When it's blended out onto the cheeks, it just looks so glowy, so soft, not glittery metallic in any way. It's much softer, much less intense than any of these other highlighters that I've talked about. So that's that one. I really love that. We're moving into the bronze area. And this is actually my favorite contour shade. I have used as a bronze shade, and I do like doing that in the winter when I'm at my palest. But for most of the year, I use this as a contour shade, this one right here. It is very light. It is very neutral toned. I wouldn't say it leans cool or warm. You can barely see it on my skin, which is what I love because it's gonna match my skin so well and just gives me that natural shadow look. You can see it right there. So that is the Charlotte Tilbury Filmstar Bronze and Glow. I'm trying to keep this quick on each of these products because I love all of them very much. If they're in this video, you should know that I think that they are all perfection. They are beautiful in every way, shape, and form. I love them all so dearly. I would never give any of these up. I would cry deeply if I ever lost any of these. Anyway, that's the Charlotte Tilbury Filmstar Bronze and Glow. Definitely recommend if these shades might fit you. They have another one that is deeper than this. So getting into the actual bronze bronzers, I'm gonna talk about these in categories. We're gonna start out with the matte bronzers, and then we're gonna move into the ones with a little bit of shimmer, with a little bit of glow to them. Beautiful. Okay, let's start out with the matte ones. So for matte bronzers, I have 4 here that I really love. First up, let's just keep on theme. The Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush bronzer. I have the shade 2. It is a giant pan. It's huge. In one of my recent Sephora haul videos, I mentioned the Charlotte Tilbury highlighter and the Natasha Denona highlighter. They're both powder highlighters. They were both part of the holiday collections for this year. They're just so new to me, and I didn't want to mention them in this video since I haven't worn them enough yet for me to really classify them as like, wow, these are my favorites. These powder highlighters that I've mentioned here, I've been wearing these for years, and I love all of them, like, because I've been wearing them for so long. They're very reliable. So I didn't want to mention anything too new to me because I really wanted to take some time to develop my feelings on them. So the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush bronzer. This is the shade 2 medium. The thing I really like about this is it is so buildable. It's very, even though it looks this deep in the pan, when I swatch it and I can like dig into this thing, it's so light. It's still so light. If you're just looking at the shades online, I would recommend going a shade deeper than what you would think. I normally am like a light kind of a shade girl in most things, but this is the medium shade and this is the shade I prefer, definitely. It is perfect for me, so I recommend going a shade deeper if you're looking at this bronzer. It is a pricier bronzer, but also the pan is gigantic. I will never run out of this bronzer, so I do think that makes it a little bit more worth the price. I love this one. The shade is gorgeous, and for me it's really the buildability of this one that makes it stand out for me and makes me really want to go back to it again and again. Next up, matte bronzer, is the Fenty Sunstalker bronzer. I have the shade Inda Sun, which is the lightest shade in the range, I believe. The shade range for these bronzers, as with everything that Fenty releases, is beautiful. There is definitely a shade for you in this shade range. As you can see, it is so light. This is my perfect winter bronzer. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. I mean, if I even swatched it, I doubt you would even be able to see it if I I really pressed it in. You can see it's just a little bit cooler toned than the Charlotte Tilbury one. It is so light, so beautiful, so buildable. It is a matte finish. I just really love this bronzer. I've had this since it came out and I used it so much last winter, and I'm really excited to start digging back into it now that I'm getting paler. It's upsetting, but it's true, because I was really missing it this summer. I really kept like looking at it and being like, I really want to wear that, and I would put it on, but it wasn't quite enough bronze for me because it was a little light, and I'm probably gonna buy another shade of this next year. Anyway, I really love this bronzer. Definitely recommend if you want a matte finish. These wear really, really well on the skin, really beautiful. Forgot to mention to you guys that with this Filmstar Bronze and Glow, I did use this as my contour today. I don't know if you can tell, I used it over top of a bronzer that I put on, but it is the contour that I was wearing today. So next matte bronzer, a classic, is the Benefit Hoola bronzer. I just have the regular Hoola shade. They do have several shades of this now. They have one lighter shade than this and 2 deeper shades than this. I love this bronzer. It is so pigmented. It's a gorgeous shade. This is a great shade for me, really from now until summer, because it's a little bit deeper. As you can see, it's a little bit warmer as well. It's a beautiful, warm bronzer, very matte, very pigmented. It'll take you forever to go through this bronzer. It's great. The last matte bronzer I'm gonna mention is from Ilia. This is a newer one for me. I got this sometime this year. I can't remember when. This is the Ilia NightLite bronzing powder, and I have the shade Drawn In, which is the lighter shade, I think. It is gorgeous. It's such a unique shade. I'm really enjoying this formula. It's one that I've been wearing a lot lately. It's this one right here by my knuckles. It's so pretty. It's a little bit more on the neutral side. It's not too warm. It's definitely more neutral, which I really enjoy as far as shades of bronzer on my skin tone, because bronzers can look really orange on me very quickly, and so I try to stay away from anything too orangey. Like the Hoola is the orangiest that I'll go. But this Ilia shade is just, it's really beautiful. It's really unique to me. I don't know. The first time I put this formula on my face, I immediately fell in love with it. It just looks like skin. It is a matte finish, but it is not, I would say it's more of like a skin finish almost. It doesn't have any shimmer in it at all. There's something really special about this formula and the way it looks on the skin. It's really beautiful. So getting into a little bit more on the glowy bronzers, I'm gonna start out by talking about bronzers that have a matte base but have a little bit of a glow to it. They're not super shimmery bronzers, but they do have a little bit of a glow to it, so that it makes it look a little bit more skin-like, kind of like I was mentioning with the Ilia, but even more so skin-like. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the one that I'm wearing on my face today. This is the Nars Laguna bronzer. This is the original formula. Nars did come out with like new bronzing shades this year, and they separated them by the original formula, which has a little bit of a shimmer to it, and there's a matte formula, which is matte with no shimmer in it at all. But I prefer this formula that has a little bit of a glow to it. It is really, really beautiful. I don't know, I hadn't tried Nars Laguna, and you know, it's a classic bronzer that everyone talks about, and I was like, well, let me just pick it up and try it. And so I did, and I get it. I mean, I get it. So that's Nars Laguna. It's become one of my favorites very quickly. Like from the moment I got it the first time I put it on my face, I was like, okay, this is the one now. Guys, I think this is gonna be a shorter video. I'm so excited. Watch me say that, and then it's still like 30 minutes long. Okay, next, a little bit glowier than the last, but not quite the glowiest I have. It's the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. It is a classic, If you've not tried this bronzer, I don't know what you're doing, like what rock you're living under, because literally everyone has tried this bronzer. And if you have, you know how beautiful it is. It's at the drugstore. You can find it wherever. There is a Physicians Formula section, and this bronzer is there. And it's beautiful. It is a cult classic for a reason. It is so pretty. I have the original shade bronzer. They do have a lighter one. They do have a few deeper ones than this. It's they really increased their shade range in the last couple of years, and it's been really nice to see that. This shade is beautiful. This is the newer packaging they released this year, because I actually went through one. I've gone through, this is my third bronzer of this. This is my third Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. That's how much I love it. And you guys know, it smells so good. It smells like a beachy day. You've put on some warm vanilla suntan lotion, but it also smells like sunscreen. It just smells like vacation, and it's beautiful. So right here, oh yeah, you can see it. But when I turn, you can see it gets lighter because there is a reflection of the glow that is in this. There's no glitter particles. Even if I get really close to the camera and you look really, wow, I made the camera jiggle a little bit. You look really close, you cannot see glitter in this, but it looks just glowy. It is just beautiful. If you haven't tried this bronzer, you should. It's affordable, it's beautiful, it's at the drugstore. Go get it, go do it. Put it on your face, it's amazing. So that's that. It will forever be a favorite. Nothing's changing there. I can't decide which one of these is glowier, but I honestly, let me swatch these, because I've never thought about these being a dupe for each other, but you know what, this might be that moment. Yeah, this one's definitely deeper, obviously, but I bet the medium shade might be a dupe for it. I would say these formulas are so similar. Let me actually tell you what I'm talking about. So the two bronzers that I am referring to right now that I think really could be dupes, not necessarily these exact shades, but the formula, really similar, are these right here. This is the Revlon Skinlights bronzer, and this is the Kosas Soft Bronze bronzer. I have the shade Light in this bronzer, and I have the shade 110 Sunlit Glow in this one. They are so beautiful. I have them swatched right here on the back of my hand. So on this side, you know what? They are really close. This side is the Revlon bronzer, and this side right here is the Kosas bronzer. The Kosas is definitely lighter in shade exactly, but really similar look. Can you see how glowy these are? Oh my gosh, these just look like butter on your skin. They're so beautiful. Unfortunately, my packaging on the Kosas one, it broke, and I'm very sad about it. And I don't know how. I didn't break it myself. I literally just pulled it out of my drawer one day and it was broken. This isn't even that old. It's really upsetting. But either way, I love both these bronzers so much. These are my summertime bronzers, or if I ever want to feel like I'm in summer, I will put on one of these bronzers because they're stunning. You can see right here, these two formulas are just very glowy, but they're, again, you can't see the actual individual glitter particles. They're not glittery. They're just glowy. They are both a baked formula. These really might be dupes. I don't know, maybe the medium shade of this compared to this, because this is the light shade. It's very, very light, as you can see. Even though it looks like literally, I don't know if that would bronze me because it's like so light. It does somehow, it just gives you like that warm glow, but it doesn't look orangey, and it just looks like you've been golden sun-kissed and beautifulness. I don't know. I have to be so careful placing the lid back onto this. So sad because the packaging is so pretty. I love this color and like the soft matte, and you can just see the name. It's so pretty, but it's broken and it really breaks my heart. But this one is a little bit deeper. I'll give you a close-up of the pan. You can really tell I have used and abused this one. It did have a really beautiful, like wavy looking pressed kind of thing into it. I don't know. It looked really beautifully pressed, like when you first get it. They're so pretty, but I really abused it. It's so beautiful. These are both very, oh God, stop. If you want to try a bronzer like this, definitely recommend picking up the Revlon Skinlights bronzer and see what you think about it. I think it's even cheaper than the butter bronzer, because I think the butter bronzer for this formula is a little bit more expensive than like your Maybelline, Revlon, L'Oreal brands. But I think this is like under $10 and this is like $12 or something. So if you want to try a glowy bronzer and see what you think about it, low risk, like try this one because it's affordable and you can find it wherever. And yeah, there is a couple shades of this. I feel like every store has different shades of this that I've seen. I don't understand. But try a shade of this that you think would work for you and see what you think. And if you really like this type of bronzer, pick this one up, because I don't know, there's something really special about this thing. I love it. It's beautiful. This one's drugstore, this one's clean beauty. There's something for everybody. You know, there's a bronzer for you out there in the category that you are comfortable with. So, you guys, those are my favorite powder bronzers and highlighters. It is a fact that I prefer cream bronzers and highlighters over powder, but with the state of the way things are right now, wearing masks everywhere we go, I will wear these powder products on my cheeks and I won't wear them begrudgingly. I would pick cream bronzer. But these are my favorites of the powder variety of these categories. So now you guys know. If you are a person, you gotta wear a mask a lot of places and you're like, but I wanna look cute at the same time and my bronzers are just not sticking to my face and wearing well underneath my mask, I'm getting those lines on my cheeks and on my nose. You should try these bronzers out, try these highlighters out, see what you think, I don't know. So that's everything for me. That's it. That's all I've got. That's everything. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed me talking about my favorites, because I'm gonna be doing it a lot for the next couple months, years, long time. We're gonna be talking about favorites, and I'm gonna be doing these favorites videos in categories here on my channel. So prepare yourself for lots of favorites videos. Let me know down in the comments if you guys have a category that you'd like to see next, that you're really excited about, or that you're curious about what my favorites are in that category. Let me know down in the comments, and maybe I'll move that one up on the list to be the next one instead of what I've got planned for next. I don't have a plan, let's be honest. I don't really have a plan, but if I did, I would change it up for you. Thank you guys so much for being here for the 1000th time, and I can't stop saying it. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being here today. And I will see you guys in the next video.